Mr. Kakumba Nasa,
Oh, yes.
what are the 4 crazy things that you would do if you became president?
You're calling them crazy things. Crazy things. One, one I would change the Liberation Day, the 26th of January. That is referred to as the NRM Liberation Day to a National Day of Democracy and Constitutionalism. Yeah, National Day of Democracy and Constitutionalism. Why? You see, Amin and Mr. Museveni, President Museveni, took over power on almost the same day. That was 25th, you can say 26th. That was the day they all took over power. And I think Amin had declared himself a life president. But instead, President Museveni has lived Amin's dream. Amin declared himself a life president. But instead, President Museveni has lived Amin's dream. So making the 26th of January a National Day of Democracy and Constitutionalism will be to remind Ugandans not to get back to what Amin was and the kind of abuse of rule of law that has been exhibited in this leadership of the NRM. I think that would be a day where Ugandans would reflect, debate and reflect on how far we are deviating in a positive direction from Amin's approach and of course the approach that we have seen the NRM take us through. The other, you called it crazy things. The other crazy thing would be making the 11th of July a National Day of Citizenship. I would call it a National Day of Citizenship. That day, I very well remember that it's the day when Kyagulanyi, Bobi Wine, registered, I think, as member of parliament from the ghettos, from his background. I look at Kyagulanyi as a symbol of each and every Ugandan, regardless of your background, to come forth and make a contribution. You understand? Of course, he was a musician, he was into a different world, but he decided to come up. So 11th July would be a National Day of Citizenship, to call upon Ugandans to get involved in affairs that are taking place in their country, using Kyagulanyi as a reference point. Of course, even this other lady, Olivia Lutaya, those people need to be remembered for their contribution in as far as leadership and governance is concerned. You said 4. I talked of making the NRM Day a day of constitutionalism, democracy and constitutionalism. I talked of 11th July, the National Day of Citizenship. Then the other one I would do is to rebrand UPDF, Uganda People's Defense Forces. I would rebrand it to UDF, Uganda Defense Forces. You see, our military, our army has of late not been so good in as far as being impartial is concerned. Soldiers have really shown side politically. And I think when you read the UPDF Act, there are individuals whose names are encrypted, for lack of a better word, I believe that's the English, that they will forever be on the high command. I believe, I'm thinking that why the UPDF, why it is Uganda People's Defense Forces, they are people. They are a different section of people that thought that it is them and them, so they put peoples. So rebranding UPDF to UDF, Uganda Defense Forces, it would create a symbolism that this is a national army and no one at any point in time, should try to, personalize it. No one should try to personalize it. And of course, when I talk of UDF, Rwanda is RDF, Rwanda Defense Forces. Kenya is KDF, Kenya Defense Forces. Israel is IDF, Israel Defense Forces. You understand? So